want to be careful because this may be misunderstood as a claim to authority and or elitism, which again, depending on context, can be valid, but usually is very problematic. So essentially we're going to listen to a Buffy fan praise Weight of the World, but they're doing it to basically attack Ahsoka. General gist, I don't really have an issue with that Buffy as a character overall is much stronger than what we're given with Ahsoka. And we can include Ahsoka from different various media. I still think, yeah, Buffy would be the stronger character. However, I think the person is being, frankly, very ignorant about what they allegedly are praising.
Believing she killed Dawn and that this is her hell as a result, to wallow in the realization that she's nothing more than death, only to understand through a trusted friend that it's self-fulfilling. The loss is only so for as long as you don't change it, making
To be fair and accurate, they're also looking at Futurama. Now, Futurama, I know only a little bit. I've seen a few episodes, so I need to look at that more to assess if these comparisons make sense. But apparently the female character in a Futurama episode was amazing, but Ahsoka was terrible. What Buffy did with Weight of the World, amazing, but Ahsoka was terrible. But here's a small problem. So when I call myself a Buffy expert, I do take that claim seriously. So I would assume when you're an expert, you know things at an expert level. You could be a big fan of Buffy, but miss certain things. But being an expert, you will know things even a strong fan will not know. And this is the problem with Weight of the World, is that it's not a real episode. This episode is not a real episode, canonically, because technically it came from Sarah Michelle Gellar not being on the set of Buffy. What happened is she was doing Scooby-Doo with James Gunn. She wanted some time with her husband, Freddie Prinze. So essentially she wanted a working vacation, and the Buffy producers and writers and directors had a problem. Like, she just was not going to be available, so they had to manufacture an episode. Sarah Michelle Gellar is barely in that episode. So they cleverly just shot what they needed to and created a, quote, a memory episode. Was this a good episode unto itself? It's okay, but it's not great. And I'd have to be honest that Ahsoka episode 5, which is apparently being the worst thing of all time, was substantively better. So in terms of the scale, Weight of the World does suffer from being basically not a real episode, and Ahsoka was stronger. Now, both of them are good, but they have problems. It's not the best storytelling, it's not the worst storytelling, but basically, it is a bit of a lie to praise Weight of the World, not knowing that, well, it doesn't technically exist. They could have just separated the story elements that they put in that episode to different episodes. We would have lost nothing. So most of the episode is just Sarah Michelle Gellar staring at stuff. But basically, the writers are stretching out very thin material and frankly creating something canonically that, as far as I know, never existed. There's also radical inconsistencies, like this young Buffy does not make sense with the young Buffy we see in other episodes. So, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm glad I saw Joyce. That was amazing. And it's an intriguing interpretation, but it doesn't quite fit what they set up with Dawn in this season because she doesn't exist. So, what memory are we looking at? It can't be a real memory. Dawn technically does not exist. These were fake memories the monks created for the world. Even as exploration of Buffy's memories, it's really quite thin and not very special. But it does exist, quote, canonically in terms of the text. But outside the text, yeah, the producers and Joss are pretty open saying, yeah, she just wasn't available. She took a vacation and we have to work with that. And give her credit, Sarah Michelle Gellar, when she is there, is dedicated. But really, Alison Hannigan doing the best she can to pretend Sarah Michelle Gellar's there, and she does a spot-on job. If you do not ask questions, you will be like, oh, this is a really great Willow episode, even though it's meant to be a Buffy episode. But knowing the full truth, if you want to be a Buffy fan and praise it as the most amazing thing of all time, just to hate Ahsoka, you can do that, but you're being very ignorant to do that.
And she must make it now.